My name's Alex Haile. I'm a domestic attorney in our Winston-Salem office. When calculating child support, the courts consider a few different factors. The factors that they consider would be the income of both parties. They're also looking at the custodial schedule. They're looking at whether there are any daycare expenses. They also look at whether there's any extraordinary expenses. When we say extraordinary expenses, those are things like if a child has a disability that needs occupational therapy or a wheelchair or something like that. They also consider who covers the child on insurance. The party that covers the child on insurance, they'll get a credit in their column when they're calculating child support. They also look at if a party has any other children that are outside of that marriage. In North Carolina, we have these different worksheets that child support is calculated on. There's Worksheet A, Worksheet B, and Worksheet C. These worksheets are based on the custodial schedule. The magic number that parties are looking for is 124. If a party has at least 124 overnights, then child support is calculated on Worksheet B, which is a joint custody schedule. If one parent has primary custody, then child support will be calculated on Worksheet A. Worksheet A is going to give the receiving parent a higher amount of child support because it is based on that custodial schedule. Worksheet B, if a parent does meet those needs, if they do have more of a joint custodial schedule, it does really reduce the amount of child support that a party's paying. There's also Worksheet C. Worksheet C is kind of a different or unusual worksheet. It's not typically used. Worksheet C would be used if one parent has primary custody of one child, and then the other parent has primary custody of the other child, which is a pretty atypical schedule, so we don't really see that very much. The worksheets can certainly be completed by the parties. The North Carolina Child Support website does have these worksheets for anyone to really use. What you would simply do is just plug in the numbers. I would recommend, though, that people do use an attorney to calculate that amount. There are different formulas that an attorney would use to plug in the correct amount for a monthly basis, depending on whether a party is paid bi-weekly, bi-monthly, those types of things. So I think it's very important to consult with an attorney to determine that appropriate amount. The worksheets are appropriate for parties where their combined monthly income is no more than $30,000. The amount that the worksheet will determine is the correct amount is presumed to be correct for families that are making less than $30,000 a month. If the families are making more than $30,000 a month, the worksheets are not presumed appropriate, and then you have to have a trial to put on evidence to see what would be the appropriate amount. One question that I'll get many times from a party that's consulting with me on child support will be that the opposing party, they make their money through cash, they make their money through tips. How do we document that financial income? How are we going to calculate that amount? In those types of situations, we would send out subpoenas, we would look at their bank records, we would look at any type of income that's coming into their account. So where they may not have a pay stub or something more concrete like a W-2, we can certainly look at their bank account records to show that they are making whatever we believe that income to be, and then put that evidence on in front of the court. I would say that it's definitely worth getting an attorney for child support. Like I said, these worksheets are simply something that take numbers into consideration. The attorney's going to take the time and careful attention to make sure that all of the numbers that are entered into the worksheet are correct. They're going to check your income, they're going to check the opposing party's income, they're going to look at bank statements, they're going to look at receipts, they're going to take a lot more into consideration than someone who maybe doesn't have an attorney. So I think if you want to make sure your amount is as accurate as possible, you should certainly consult with an attorney.